Yeah, very good afternoon. Start ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? Okay. Yeah, good afternoon. So, yeah, chalo. We'll start with today's class. See, last class, if you remember, I spoke in depth about Soranum, a very important nosode, and we had a very extensive discussion about Soranum. Okay. We will start with a very simple remedy today, and expecting the same interaction that you student keep doing in all classes. So I just have a small image here, and what exactly comes to your mind? Probably keeping the present pandemic situation. You see a lot of death happening. Yeah, Mala has got it right. You see a lot of deaths happening. You know, so it's a very sorry state, but it's a reality, and we need to accept that lot of deaths have been happening. Many near, dear, friend, relative, they are dying for some reason. So my question for you is, what remedies come to your mind? What remedies come to your mind when you have this, ailments from death, ailments from death of a relative, death of a parent, death of a child. You have different, very good. You have different subrubrics there. See, I'm happy you have got almost all the remedies right. Yes, very good. Keep it up. I'm pretty impressed with opium. Good. Afnas has contributed opium. Good. Keep it up. See, now the probable remedies that will come to our mind, and one or two remedies you have missed, otherwise majority you have got, and you have also contributed opium, which I have missed here. Okay, ignitia, phosphoric acid, stephysagria, carcinosin, causticum, natriumur, arsenicum alb, and the surprise element that you see there is anthraxinum. Okay, now again, if I extend this question, if you have seen the death scene there, the death, the death situation there, you will be seeing different constitutions there. I've I've always asked you, I've always told you, wherever you go, you should always have that homeopathic instinct, meaning you should always look around as a homeopathic doctor or as a homeopathic student. See, if you think of that situation where there is a death and you have got different people, and each of them, they express their sorrow in different way. Okay, to keep the class light, afternoon class light, what could be the probable way the sorrow will be expressed? Can I have some quick inputs? How? See, I'm not specifically asking. Okay, Chaitra, Arsenic, what if I die? Okay, see, there is death happening here. Good. What if I die? See, the arsenicum, as Chaitra rightly said, they're very selfish constitutions. They'll be more worried tomorrow. What if I also die? And that kind of an anxiety is what you will have in arsenicum. Okay, so natriumur, ignitia, causticum, or other remedies, they will be crying or they will be sad. Now, not everybody express their grief. If you see there, you would have seen in Tamil movies, Telugu movies, the South Indian movies, the way the women cry, they become hysterical, they start hitting themselves and oh, loudly they start weeping. There are certain people, who are too dignified, and you'll be seeing them sitting in a corner, and they're just sad. They don't express it out. Now, this kind of grief, which is not expressed out, which is kept within, this kind of grief is what we call it as silent grief. They're suffering, not that they're not suffering, but they are not exhibiting it, they are not showing it. Now, out of all these remedies, can I have a small bifurcation, small list of those remedies which have silent grief? I hope the question is clear. Yes, good. Ignitia, Netremur, two remedies, but I have already done Ignitia and Netremur for you, or it is over in your syllabus. Now, a surprise remedy that came up when I was looking into the repertoire, silent grief. Ignitia Netremur and your synthesis repertoire gives anthraxinum as a 3-mark remedy. So the only 3 remedies in our Materia Medica which has silent grief is Ignitia, it is also Netremur, and to be honest, the surprise element that came up was anthraxinum. Okay, so last class I had done Soranum, Inosode, and this class we will try to explore more about anthraxinum. 2 points you have already got about anthraxinum. So which are those 2 points that you already know about anthraxinum? Which are all the 2 points? Anthraxinum has ailments from death, death of near ones or death of the family members, and they go into yes, silent grief. Good, beautiful. So the remedy that we'll be exploring for next 30 minutes will be anthraxinum. So first we started with mind, so we'll continue with mind. And this mental symptoms I have taken from Dr. George Vitolka's Materia Medica on Materia Medica Viva. It's a very nice book. From that book, I have taken the mental symptoms of anthraxinum. Okay, he has beautifully given the picture of anthraxinum in different stages. So this is taken from that book. And of course, I have referred some other books and the repertory. Okay, so deeply hidden grief. You saw that there is silent grief, and they suffer silently. See now, the reason why anthraxinum suffers grief silently is something that we'll be exploring. But Netremur, if you look at Netremur, if you also look at Ignitia, see, Ignitia has another phase where they can become hysterical, they can start sobbing very loudly. That is also seen in the hysterical state of Ignitia. They can be unconsolable, involuntarily weeping loudly. That also you see in Ignitia. Now, why netrums don't express grief? Why netrums? Yes, yes, absolutely right. Mala has got it right. See, netrums have a lot of dignity. Netrums have a lot of esteem. When you go to that kind of, I mean, when you visit somebody's as somebody is no more, and if you visit that situation, you will find a lot of netrums, you'll find a lot of ignitias, you'll find a lot of lycopodiums, a lot of historical remedies weeping in a different way. But you will see netrums, they're very dignified. They know they will be holding their grief in a very dignified manner. The death would have caused great loss to them. In spite of that, they put up a very brave front. Now this is Netremur. Netremur to safeguard their ego, to safeguard their esteem, their dignity, and Netrums does not like somebody coming close to them and consoling them. Okay, sorry, your dad died or your mother died. I feel very sorry for you. All that melodrama or all those things Netrums will not like. So Netrum says, boss, yes, I know, don't cross your line. I'm fine. Yeah, yeah, I know, I'll be comfortable. In a very dignified manner, they put it across. Okay. Now we will try to understand what will happen in Anthraxinum. See now, what Dr. GV says in his book, right? Anthraxinum, though it is very close to Natrum, that both of them have silent grief, Anthraxinum hardly remembers, you know. See, like for example, some death has happened, it has had a huge impact on him, and he is going into silent grief. But what GV says is like, he hardly remembers the incident, and you'll not keep brooding about it, or you'll not keep talking about it. My friend died, my child died, my mother died. He doesn't keep brooding about it. Okay. He does not seem to realize the suffering from it. So this is how an Anthraxina patient will present, as if nothing has happened, as if that incident has had no effect on him. Emotionally, it is not affected him. Kind of a picture is what Anthraxinum tries to present. But going ahead, he also says that this grief has, or this death or this loss has directly penetrated into the subconscious mind, and it remains there. You getting my point? So the grief is subconsciously present, and it is not getting exposed to the surface to the extent the patient himself does not know, or the patient himself does not recall what has happened. But at the same time, the grief is uh, you know there in the subconscious mind. Now how will you get to know that he has grief, but he says, or he gives you an expression that nothing has happened, I don't remember kind, but he is getting affected? Now how will you get to know in an Anthraxinum patient? So what Dr. GV says is, this emotional state or the subconscious state, the problems will be reflected on the physical body. Okay, meaning he says they go into early senility. You will have what premature aging, the face looks old, and the young man who has to be very jovial, very enthusiastic, that joy, that enthusiasm, that will come down. Okay, and he becomes indifferent. Probably these features of early senility, he not being joyful or he being indifferent, and subconsciously there is a grief which is deep hidden there. If this combination you have, you can think of Anthraxinum. Honestly, I've never prescribed Anthraxinum for grief. This is a new learning, and I've always tried to share with you. This is the beauty of being a teacher. We, in the process of teaching you, we also get to learn a lot of new things. Okay, so Anthraxinum for grief. Any questions at this stage? This is something new. I hope I have conveyed it in a proper manner, the manner that it has penetrated into your mind. I don't want it to remain in the subconscious mind, but I hope it has gone, and you have got some clarity. Is this clear? The explanation part, the grief in Anthraxinum. I'm waiting for your response. Okay, fine. Okay, if this is clear, then we'll go ahead. We'll get back. Now, what I was trying to tell you is, uh, the silent grief and the bodily symptoms that has been shown, early senility, and as the pathology progresses, you give a remedy at you give a remedy at this stage. For example, you give anthraxinum here. Now what should happen? What should happen? So Dr. GV says the patient comes with lot of weeping. The hidden emotions will get an outlet. Okay, the patient will start excessively weeping, and please don't treat the patient at this stage. So the subconscious mind is trying to throw out the emotion in form of weeping. Let the patient weep, let the emotions, let there be an outlet, let it come out. Okay, basically anthraxinum is also a very angry constitution. Anger, violent anger before menses. Okay, and there are few more symptoms in anthraxinum. There will be a lot of confusion. Okay, and one more very interesting symptom that I got from the repertory is memory weakness or memory loss of after grief. Memory loss of after grief. After grief, they are also restless in repertory. There are other rubrics mentioned: biting desires, or they are overexcited. So during septic fevers, when you have high fever because of some septic condition, during that state, you see them behaving very weird. They have a desire to bite others. They become restless, and there is over excitement. Okay. So the important or the take home point here is I did not know much about anthrax in a mind. I directly wanted to start with the physical symptoms, but I was just going through Materia Medica Viva and I found it interesting. And I thought, as a final year student, you should know this, okay? Because this is one among those top three remedies for silent grief. So I thought I should understand this better and I should convey the same to you. Okay, so mind of anthraxinum. Now, what is anthraxinum? From your pharmacy knowledge, what do you know about anthraxinum? What do you know about anthraxinum? So, can we have some quick inputs? What is anthraxinum? How is it prepared? What is this? From your pathology knowledge, from your pharmacy knowledge, from your medicine knowledge. Very good. Somebody says no, sir. Good. Uh, Yes, nosode which is prepared from the spleen of the cattle. See, anthrax is a very deadly infectious disease. It's a bacterial disease, fine, which mainly affects domestic animals like sheep, cattle, domestic animals basically. And the target organ will be skin, lungs, and if I'm right, eyes, and one more area, some four areas it affects. Okay, so it is a nosode, and Dr. Lux, Lux Lux, he was a veterinary doctor. Okay, and he is given the credits of introducing this to homeopathy. Being a veterinary doctor, he's more of he is more into isopathy. We'll not look into that story now. So he gets the credit of introducing anthrax to homeopathy. But then there is one doctor, Webex. He was the one who proves Weber. Sorry, Weber. He was the one who partially proves this particular nosode, and they've observed from the clinical experience that anthraxinum is a very important remedy for malignant or septic conditions. We will next 10-15 minutes we'll try to understand what those malignant conditions are, but a remedy prescribed for malignancy. Okay, uh, so predominantly anthrax, you see the skin affections. Before I take up the skin affections, we will, somebody is waiting. Okay. Before we look into the skin affections, we look at the characteristic symptoms of anthrax. Very important, because it can be a beautiful entry point tomorrow. Now, before taking up characteristic symptoms, we spoke of mind, and in mind I spoke of ailments from death giving rise to grief. Grief is silent grief, and this silent grief is deep inside the subconscious mind. So an anthrax patient may present to you as if nothing has happened, but there is a deep rooted grief which is shown on the body. Fine. And there is confusion, there is memory weakness, and there are angry constitutions. So this is what was told. Okay. Now we look at the characteristic symptoms. See, the first thing is weakness of memory. Yes, correct, weakness of memory after grief. Now the first thing, now see, this is where from here many homeopaths we know about anthrax. Now what I told before, that I don't know about other homeopathic doctors. At least for me, the mind part was very new. Let me be honest in agreeing this fact. But from here, this is what we have seen in our practice. This is what we have learned in Boric Materia Medica, Fortax or Clark Materia Medica. Now, abscess. GB there also explains. See, abscess means accumulation of pus. So Dr. GB in mind also says that lot of emotions, lot of grief will be piled up, like pus getting accumulated in an abscess. He says mental abscess, meaning like there's so much of accumulation of the grief, and there is hardly any outlet for this grief to come out. On the physical level, you see carbuncle. From your surgery knowledge, these are all surgical conditions. But if you give a right homeopathic medicine, these things can be taken care. Okay. So anthraxinum, which has carbuncles, abscess, boils, which keep coming recurrently. So what remedies come to your mind when you're talking of recurrent abscess? What remedies come to your mind when you talk of recurrent abscess? Okay, heparin is a remedy for abscess. I don't know. Recurrent abscess. Okay, good. Soranum could be one. More than soranum, you also have a remedy called as syphilinum. Succussion of abscess, meaning abscess one after the other, one after the other. So you should remember syphilinum. You should also remember pyrogenum. Okay. So abscess which keep coming one. See, belladonna is a remedy for abscess. Hepar is a remedy for abscess, but it is given there. They are all acute remedies. But you give belladonna, the abscess is cured. After 7 days, after 10 days, again is coming with an abscess. Again you give belladonna. Again after 15 days is coming back with abscess. There belladonna will not help. Don't waste your time giving belladonna there. There you'll have to think of some deep acting remedy. Probably like anthrax or syphilinum. Depends. Okay, there you can think of such kind of remedies. Probably tuberculinum also. Many nosodes they come up. We'll have to look into it. Okay, good. Now in carbuncle, when do you think of anthrax? That is again very important. So when you have terrible burning, bad burning with prostration, and from the carbuncle you have a discharge, and this discharge is foul smelling, very bad smelling discharge. If you have carbuncle with bad smelling discharge, you have only two remedies. One is anthrax, the other one is lachesis. Not only skin, it's also a remedy having hemorrhagic tendency. Now what is that? That is characteristic in anthrax. Okay, the bleeding in anthrax will be dark, thick, like tar. You have seen, the roads are tarred. That tar, no, that black, that kind of hemorrhage. I didn't get that image, so it is simple red blood here. But when you have that kind of dark, tarry, ropey, thick hemorrhage from any orifice, it could be the menstrual flow, it could be the hemorrhoids, bleeding hemorrhoids, it could be the epistaxis, it could be the gum bleeding, any orifice, or it could be the hemoptysis. You can think of anthrax now. So these are all very, very, very important. Try to concentrate and try to understand. Tar like, okay. Can you think of some other remedies which has black hemorrhage, dark hemorrhage? Dark hemorrhage here again means venous hemorrhages, but to the extent it is black like tar. Okay, lachesis could be one. Okay, ammonium carb, elapse, good. Puja, elapse, China, good. Ophidius, they all have dark hemorrhages. Okay, dark hemorrhages. So hemorrhages ಒಂದು carbuncle ಇನ್ನೊಂದು. See, these are all what do we say? Dissecting wounds, dissecting injuries. When the dissecting injury turn cancerous, see, this is finger, that is toe, it is not related. So finger ಅಲ್ಲಿ injury ಆದರೆ toe ಅಲ್ಲಿ gangrene ಆಗಲ್ಲ, that is not what I am trying to tell you. But when the incised injury turns gangrenous, okay, which are all the other remedies that should come to your mind? Which are all the other remedies? uh, Dissecting wounds turning gangrenous, injuries turning gangrenous, which are all the, okay, good. Tahir, okay. Arsenic. See, a better remedy you should remember here is sulfuric acid. Arsenic, Ophidius, good, agreed. I've got nothing against it. Do add sulfuric acid. Injuries turning into gangrene. Okay, injuries turning into gangrene. So we'll go ahead, we'll see what else we have. Now, very characteristic in anthrax, we saw the blood being black. Similarly, the eruptions will have a black discoloration. The blisters in anthrax can be black or bluish. So when you have black eruptions, when you have black blisters, as a homeopathic doctor, one remedy, there could be plenty of other remedies also. One remedy that should come to your mind will be anthrax. Black and blue blisters or black eruptions. Okay. Now this was again something very interesting I found in the repertory, and I felt it should be shared with you. Now from the image, what you blindly get here is there is cerebral hemorrhage. Now when do you indicate anthrax in cerebral hemorrhage is also very, very important. See, under head in your repertory, hemorrhages, there is a rubric, symmetrical. Are you getting my point? Now, how will you get to know if the hemorrhages are symmetrical? You have heard of you have heard of eruptions which are symmetrical. I have told you. Which are all the other remedies? Which are all the remedies when the eruptions are symmetrical? What eruptions you have here? Same number of eruptions you will have it on the, yes, very good, arnica. You have sepia, okay. You have natrum, you have thyroidinum, you have some 8 remedies there, okay. Now I am giving you a different situation. What is that situation? The cerebral hemorrhage iruttalla. Reason might be anything. It could be an accident, it could be stroke, it could be any damn thing. But what you see is it could be a fall, it could be anything. But there is cerebral hemorrhage, and the cerebral hemorrhage is symmetrical, meaning this hemisphere where you have hemorrhage, same area, same spot on the left hemisphere, you have hemorrhage there. So probably a CT image can show uh, through our naked eyes we can't make out this situation. A CT can show something like this, and uh, the only remedy is anthraxinum. People who work in ICUs probably they can explore this particular symptom of anthrax. Cerebral hemorrhage, symmetrical, only remedy. Remember, don't forget this. And they are the kind of people who not like eggs. Aversion to eggs, not exactly aversion. Eggs aggravates, disagrees. See, they might eat egg, but if they eat egg, they will have some issues. They will have nausea, they will have loose motion, something like that. So you have something called as aggravation, disagrees. So anthrax is one of the remedy. You have China, you have pulsatilla, you have better remedies. You should also think of anthrax. I started with a statement that is a very important remedy for malignancy. Hmm? So malignancy of submaxillary gland. What is this submaxillary gland? Submaxillary gland is nothing but the submandibular gland, the salivary gland. The salivary gland going into cancer. One remedy could be anthraxinum. And allergic to raw wool. People who work in wool industry, they have an allergy to raw wool. So when they touch the wool, they might be allergic to raw wool. So if you're lucky, you get somebody like this tomorrow. Okay, you can think of anthraxinum, allergic to raw wool. So I hope the characteristic symptoms are clear. Hemorrhage, its affinity for skin, its affinity for cancer, and the allergic tendency or the allergic reactions to raw wool. These are few things you have to remember. Now we will straight away talk about skin of anthrax. See, as a final year student, this area is very, very important. That the thing that I told you before this is very important for a practitioner, for a homeopathic practitioner. Tomorrow you'll be one who will be practicing homeopathy. But when you look at the exam, commonly asked question in your final year exams will be skin affections of anthrax for 5 marks. So here you'll be talking about carbuncle, carbuncle which has terrible burning, there is weakness. See, whenever carbuncle with burning comes, the first remedy that comes to our mind will be arsenicum alb. You would have given arsenicum alb. In spite of giving arsenicum alb, the burning, there is no change. The burning continues. Okay. Then the remedy that should come to your mind will be anthrax. Okay. So boils, abscess, carbuncles which keep coming, and burning, weakness. When arsenicum or best selected remedy fails to relieve, think of anthrax. One of your friend also has contributed foul smelling discharges. Good, I forgot that point. You can add there. And one of your friend wants to know about Tarantula cubensis. Good. Now, when do you give Tarantula cubensis? That also has burning like arsenic, terrible burning. But one key point in Tarantula is the carbuncle. The carbuncle, when you look at the carbuncle, it will have a purplish or a bluish appearance. Are you clear? I'll repeat this. In Tarantula, the carbuncle will have a purplish or a bluish tinge appearance. There it will be Tarantula cubensis, not Hispanica, Tarantula cubensis. We saw this. What is this? The injuries, the incised injuries, the dissecting wounds turning gangrenous. Okay. Now, continuing with the skin of anthrax, we saw this. What did we see? ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ anthrax skin ಅಲ್ಲಿ? The eruptions, which are dark, not dark. The eruptions which are black, blisters which are black, blisters which are bluish. Very good. I'm happy you could recall. Okay, bluish, blackish blisters, blackish eruptions. Okay, you can think of anthrax. Hmm? And malignant pustules, meaning the pustules which are turning cancerous, malignant pustules. And again, a very good remedy for ulcers. Hmm? You see this ulcers. From the ulcer again, you'll have a foul smelling discharge, non-healing ulcers, blackish discharges coming from the ulcer, and ulcers which can turn gangrenous, or you have malignant ulcers, ulcers with black base. See, these are all very, very, very important points you have to remember. Yeah, it could be diabetic ulcer, it could be venous ulcer, varicose ulcer, but it should have the following symptoms. We are not worried about the pathology. Is it diabetic ulcer? Is it venous? Is it what is it? There's another ulcer called as what is it called? Tophic ulcers. Okay, fine. It will not matter. But what matters here is anthrax should have its individualistic symptoms. That black base. Okay, bed sores. Yes, you can think of. Okay, and ulcer which might turn into gangrenous. Again, a very important remedy for phelon. In our local language, we say ugur suttu. Phelon with lot of burning, and the phelon again, which can turn cancerous. Malignant phelon. You can think of anthrax. Insect bite. It can be a very good remedy for insect bite. Other remedies for insect bites. Which are all the other remedies? Other remedies. Insect bite is Apis mellifica. Okay. Good. Ledum. Ledum insect, and again a very specific remedy for rat bites. Rat bite. Okay. Now septicemia, septic condition is again what you also have in anthrax. Septicemia, septic inflammation from absorption of pus or other deleterious, means something dangerous. So some dangerous substance get absorbed into the blood, and then it results in septicemia. You can think of anthrax. Ailments from insect bite, ailments from dissecting wounds, ailments from inhaling foul gases. Foul gas, fine. For example, some sewage plant, something like that, where lot of foul gas gets formed and they inhale that, and after which they fall sick. One remedy can be anthrax. Okay, so burning will be there, prostration will be there, glands can be swollen or glands can be indurated. Okay, so this is, I don't know how much time we have. Okay, we have 4 more minutes. So this is all in short about anthrax. You will have to compare it with arsenic, tarantula. For gangrene we have remedies like Sickle. Okay, so those remedies we need to compare. Now before I take up the comparison, from your side, clinically, for what conditions one can think of anthrax now? Now, if you can tell me this, then I understand that you have understood Anthrax better. Okay. Boils, carbuncles, abscess, good. Okay. Depression, grief, malignancy, insect bite, good. What else? Ulcers. Okay. Good. Silent grief, ulcers, cerebral hemorrhage, wool allergy, good. Raw, R-A-W, raw. Raw wool allergy, good. Okay. Hmm? Okay, good. Malignancy, gangrene, the glandular affections wherein they go into induration. Okay. These are few clinical indications of anthrax. Okay. So before we close, any doubts in anthrax? A small remedy. Yeah, foul smelling ulcers, foul smelling carbuncles. Good. Hmm. Any doubts, any questions? See, the advantage in final areas, you'll have small remedies which we can finish in a record time. Okay. Max, we can look at the comparison. Hopefully, we'll see when time permits. I'll take up the comparison. But minimum, I've tried to tell you in gangrene, you'll have to refer, you'll have to compare with arsenic, sickle, carbovage, cantharis, creosote, sulfuric acid. In carbuncle, you have tarantula, arsenic again, belladonna, silicea, hepar, crotalus, or in septicemia, you should think of pyrogenum, again a very important nosode. Hmm? Okay, so this is all about anthrax. As a final year student, concentrate mainly the skin, but try to understand the other part of anthrax also. See, we are looking at a broader aspect. We are looking at your practice basically. So, keeping your practice in mind, I am taking classes. Not only for exams. Yes, exams are important, but ultimately it is your practice. So the class should be more clinical based. Okay, so that you take home something and you apply it in your practice tomorrow. That is the main idea. Okay. Hope things are clear. Next class, now we have all small remedies. Next class, we'll again start with some small remedy, and which I suppose we can finish it in 40 minutes record time. Hmm? Okay. Thank you, and I'll keep your CR informed about the next class. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Thank you.